say, like, I'm so glad that we hung out with you that one day and this came to fruition. Like,
Me too.
we seriously were just hanging out, talking forever. I feel like Joshua was probably waiting for it to end. And I was like, this makes sense, honestly. Like, there's so many life lessons that you can learn from friends and just creatives in general, like creative minds, that it's worth so much. And unfortunately, some people don't know the right people. And so I feel like it might be cool to just put it in one place and like kind of pick each other's brains and hopefully get some good info out of it somehow, some way.
Yes, I love that.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So, Lauren Reed.
Yes.
Hi, thanks for coming over today.
Thanks for having me.
I know, I'm so excited. What did you bring us?
Okay.
This is crazy.
Isn't this fun? So I brought our little 6-pack of minis and I just put an assortment in here. Our gluten-free brownie. But next to it is that sassy little sister over there, the Mexican hot chocolate brownie.
Joshua's drooling.
Yeah. And that has cayenne and cinnamon.
Oh my gosh. Well, Lauren, okay, so I have to tell you.
Yes.
I love how you bring people together.
Thank you.
So you invited us, and it was like the perfect mix. Honestly, we all added something to the table. And I was just thinking that's so awesome for you to be able to kind of know who goes together. It's a whole way of thinking, honestly.
Yes.
So that's kind of also what helped me to think, like, I want to learn from you. I mean, what do you think has helped you figure out, like, where to even start? Because I feel like that's everything you do is really pulling people together.
And I didn't really know that was kind of my knack or like my little niche until I started hearing that from people. But my dad had taught me the power of networking just from his field. He's had a video production company for 20 plus years in Dallas. And when we moved up to Seattle when I was 10, he kind of semi-retired. And then when he came back to Dallas, like, gosh, 8 years later, all the same people called him. And and they were like, hey, what are you doing? You're back. Can we work together? And he literally just picked up right where he left off.
That is so good.
I got to see that from a young age of never burning a bridge, never losing sight of people, always checking in, you know, and then knowing how to keep that relationship. So it's not like you're always, you're not using them, you know, so that whenever
really
you
hard.
approach them, it's not like you want something out of them.
Right.
When your intentions are always right.
Because
people feel that. Yeah, people
you can
feel.
totally tell when someone's like, hey, ...
So, haven't seen you in 6 years.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
No.
By the way.
But networking is like so important because you could go by so far with just networking.
Right.
And I personally can say that, and I don't think that you can fully do that to really, you know, get where you want to be. But for the most part, like the power of someone kind of even later on being able to validate for you because you've really invested in those relationships, that really goes a long way.
It does. It's kind of like how the power of the word of mouth, you know, and that's what I feel like social media and everything does. It's like a digital footprint and another form of validation.
One thing that I wanted to talk about was really like how Instagram and networking work, and then how to really balance it. It's like, okay, when is it too much? Or how do you start to realize like where to navigate it all?
And I've noticed too, like because everything's balanced, right? Because I mean, I used to go to too many events, like too many networking events. I used to just put myself out there way too much. And yes, it worked in the sense of I met amazing people and I would meet them and run into them everywhere and they go, oh, there she is again. You know, and they start connecting the dots. But then I overextended myself for sure. So there were times where I was they're like, there's a girl that's everywhere. You know, and I became that girl. I didn't
think of it that way.
Yeah.
See, I think of it whenever I hear like overextending myself, I think physical, like being exhausted and being like, I can't keep this up anymore.
Right.
But I didn't even think about really like what message you're saying if you're just everywhere all the time. Like,
do you have a life?
Yeah. Or even like picking the places that you go really kind of makes more of a splash if you're like, hey, I always see her at these types of events. That even kind of helps.
Yeah.
How do you kind of pick, now that you've figured out the balance, how do you pick where to go? Because that's major.
It is major because a lot of times I'll know someone who's going, for instance, and then I'll hit them up and say, do you know who's attending? You know, just kind of what's the audience like? Yeah. And now it's like everything that I do, I really try to make it super, like put intent with everything and purpose with everything, rather than just to get noticed or just to build my brand or, you know, now it's like, okay, cause I want every connection to have meaning and, you know, I always have, but before I just threw it together just to get it done. And now I'm like, okay, we don't have a lot of time.
I feel like you're probably really good at being yourself and making everything really like feel like you're, like you said, you just really want to reach out. You want to be friends.
Right.
What do you think is a good tip to really kind of keep that flow, but also make sure that people remember you in a certain way? Like how do you do that?
That's a good question because a lot of people think, because I am a very happy person, you know, and a lot of people think, oh, is she forcing that? Or is she really?
That's a real thought. That is totally.
They really think she can't be that happy all the time, or she can't be. And it's one of those where I won't go somewhere if I'm not feeling it and kind of figure out another way rather than forcing myself to be at this event or where I go, I'm not gonna be on. Yeah. You know, I don't know what they're gonna get from me today. You know? I don't know.
So do you go to some of these events by yourself sometimes or are you always with someone?
I'm not always with someone.
How do you know like who to come up to? Like are you pretty vigilant about who's there and who people are and going up to them?
Yeah, I'll recognize them. From Instagram or I'll recognize their faces and I'll walk up to them or I'll always find a way to break the ice. And it's usually around like the bar area or the food area.
Don't you love exchanging phone numbers with a grown adult? It's so funny. It's like,
hey.
Yeah, no, that moment where you're just like, so what's your number? What's your Instagram?
Yeah.
It's so necessary
it's so
really.
necessary.
Yeah. No,
so I love that. I just love meeting people and figuring out where, you know, why are you here tonight?
Yeah.
What brought you?
You know what? I'm just gonna, every time I go out to an event or like, even to go out to drinks where I know it's like a special night or something, I'll always take my business cards with me.
Smart.
And I will say hi or introduce myself to at least one person.
That's
and
good.
If I do that, then I can leave at whatever time and be like, okay, I feel like I did what I needed to do. Now I can leave feeling confident about, you know, the evening, even if nothing comes of it or if something great comes of it. Like, I'm just going to do that because it's throwing yourself out there is so scary, but then once you do it, you're like, I freaking did that. And sometimes it's awkward, to be honest, but then I reel it back in, or I'll just be honest with them and I'll be like, yeah, I always tell myself I'm going to say hi to someone new. And then they're like, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah. And then they're cool with it. And that's so good. I've kind of felt like I've tried that. I don't know if that's the best way.
That's a great way. Yeah. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I think it's whatever is it happening inside of you and you're like, you know what? If my body language, if I'm turned to this person, we make eye contact. Let's go for it. I mean, because you never know who they'll unlock.
Exactly.
To.
Oh my God,
they could be the portal to your next project or thing or whatever relationship it is. I mean, that person could be
and you never know.
You never know. I mean,
and it's the difference between just doing it and going up to them, finding some, like literally the same drink. If you have the same drink, be like, do you like this drink? Yeah. I ordered it the first time. Have you been here before? I love your outfit, or I love any little thing can open that. Then you'll be able to tell. Either they'll be like, whatever. Or they'll be totally into it. Most times they're totally into it. It's kind of like nice to have someone talk to you that you've never felt before, as long as they have like good energy. It's kind of flattering that someone is willing to kind of meet you out of nowhere. how soon after do you send communication? Because is it kind of like dating where you're supposed to wait, or is it like the sooner the better?
Sooner the better.
Right? That's what I'm kind of freaky. Like, I will literally leave and then get in my car, and I'll be like, hey, it was so nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Like, please think of me, blah, blah, blah. Or let's get together and do something. I'm not the only one.
No. I will do that because also it's easy to forget. Not that you mean to, or, not that you want to forget, but it's just when you say you met 10 people that night.
Yeah.
But then I think they're always fun having a call to action, like in every conversation.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to see them again, or you want to work together. It's like you're wrapping it up when okay, I'm going to send you that. We're going to start the conversation. We're going to figure out ways to work together. Boom, boom, boom. And then at least you have your paper trail later.
Right.
And then you can let that kind of sit, or, that at least it's in writing.
And then if you open it back up, they're like, I did meet her.
I did meet, yes.
I have to say that honestly, the power of meeting someone new is just, if you haven't experienced it, it's so worth it. Like, you feel good about yourself. You learn things about yourself. You learn new things about, other people and it's like, it starts a chain reaction, honestly, because then you realize that you can do it. You can approach people. You can get something out of it.
So true. Yeah. It's so true. And it's scary. It's scary, but it's so worth it. But that's half the fun.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, Lauren, this has been so perfect. It went exactly how I was hoping.
Me too.
I think a lot of it has to do with you being an open book. Maybe me too.
You are. I know.
Thank you so
I know.
much.
Thank you. I'm so honored. I love it.
Don't judge us, but we have a lot of work to do. And all this will be done. So
yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.